Another episode of Book Depths and Insights. What is self-knowledge? Explores human psychology's mysteries and wonders. This book encourages people to slow down, appreciate the simple things, and think critically about their lives to improve self-awareness. It investigates surprising psychological discoveries that illuminate numerous parts of our lives. These writings illustrate our complex and exciting lives with psychological insights. David G. Myers is Hope College's psychology and social psychology professor. In his 50 years of psychology research and teaching, he has strived to help people make better judgments in the face of erroneous information and to inspire them to appreciate their inner and outer beauty. Through his teaching and textbooks, he has helped students worldwide understand important psychological results. Although Myers has written many layperson books on a variety of topics, some of the ideas here are from his Talk Psych blog. His ability to simplify psychology is a trademark. The book's 3 sections explore different aspects of human psychology and how we make sense of the world. Title: Who Am I? We'll examine our self-image, attentiveness, intuition, and cognitive biases in this portion. Topics include our implicit egotism. The tendency to value things we identify with can subtly impact our choices of a home, spouse, or career. The name-letter effect, birth-date number effect, name-residence effect, and surname-occupation matching effect all show a preference for a specific region or occupation. Our choices may be influenced by unconscious forces, even when we know why. Like flashlight beams, our minds selectively focus on a small part of reality, but this attention is strong. One unanticipated consequence is inattentional blindness, where a person is so focused on their work that they miss exterior inputs. Distraction can also impair tactile sense, as in inattentional numbness and inattentional deafness. What is self-knowledge? We learn about ourselves by observing our actions, according to self-perception theory. Experiments show that what we hear ourselves say shapes our perception of what we said, independent of modifications. The behavior feedback effect shows that posture and movements affect emotions, and the face feedback effect shows that facial expressions activate emotions. Dual processing is important because it shows that our thoughts function together, with one high road that is aware and purposeful, and another low road that is broader, unnoticed, unconscious, and automatic. Dual processing is needed for seeing, remembering, reasoning, and expressing opinions. Blind sight and implicit memory are examples of dual brain function. Long-lasting New Year's resolutions. Psychology can help you achieve your goals. Be explicit. Proclaim your goals. Devise a plan to achieve them. Track your progress, and surround yourself with encouraging people. Your goals will become habits. Good routines can help restore willpower. Intuition, benefits and risks. Our innate intuitive information processing assists us with many parts of life, including reading thin slices of behavior and mastering acquired activities. Too much intuition can lead to blunders like the interview illusion, or misjudgments in gambling or financial markets. Implicit bias, poor deception detection, intuitive anxiety based on vivid memories, and judgment illusions are further examples. Probability neglect causes people to fear the wrong things by worrying about vivid, unlikely events while ignoring more significant risks. The availability heuristic perpetuates worry by exaggerating the frequency and intensity of easily remembered, often vivid or recent, events. Border prejudice also makes us feel vulnerable against threats within our mental borders. Hindsight bias explains how events may become obvious afterward. It was always known. We often think we know more than we do, and sayings support opposite views. Because of this tendency, psychology results may seem obvious if revealed. When we judge others, we often overlook our own moral blind spots or moral myopia. Due to self-serving bias, Most people have a favorable self-image, which makes us credit our good deeds more than our bad ones and value ourselves on subjective, socially acceptable attributes. Due to prejudice, we may assume that our morality was better than that of previous generations, even though evidence demonstrates otherwise. By acting in ways that meet our expectations, behavioral confirmation can make our previous thoughts about others come true. This can happen in close relationships or nations with mirror image perspectives. What's love me like? Let me count the ways. Most people are self-confident and show self-serving bias by seeing oneself positively and interpreting circumstances in their favor. Most people estimate themselves above average in several categories. People in groups may overstate their effort in joint efforts due to this tendency. The bias blind spot often makes people think they are less biased. We are who? We investigate social dynamics in this part. Explores concepts like strong views should guide life, but humility in the face of polarization is more vital for healthy dialogue and clear reasoning. Psychology explores the risks of pride, including cognitive conceit, self-serving bias, and excessive optimism. Genuine humility involves knowing oneself, being modest, and focusing on others. False humility involves boasting and feigned modesty. Being humble helps us connect with others and understand the world. The Big Five personality traits do not vary much by birth order, contrary to popular belief. The research examined massive data sets and adjusted for confounding factors. 1. Reliable finding is the fraternal birth order effect, which implies that prenatal biological reasons, not parenting, explain why males with older siblings are more gay. New research suggests that brain cells die slowly after cardiac arrest, challenging the accepted understanding of death. Some cardiac arrest survivors have conscious experiences, according to research. Serene and drawn to a light are typical descriptions of these encounters. Though fascinating, these narratives make one wonder if they happened during brain inactivity, before or during recovery. How well do people remember tragedies? Are they repressed? Unlike repression, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, involves vivid memories of distressing occurrences. Intense sentiments leave lasting memories, but they focus on the main event and forget small details. Fear of losing causes people to appreciate their possessions more than their acquisition cost. The great dislike of losing something is linked to this. As a result, people may make foolish choices like holding on to losing investments or playing it safe in sports to avoid losing. Bigger bad is stronger than good occurrences include loss aversion. Psychological variables like confirmation bias and belief endurance divide us politically. Talking about the same things in a group amplifies and radicalizes views. Political, cable TV, the internet, and geographical divide, where like-minded people congregate, have all contributed to this problem. Differentiation makes us self-conscious, which molds our spontaneous self-concepts. These differences draw attention, define us, and occasionally fool us. Due to our self-consciousness, we may misinterpret routine interactions as critical, which influences how others treat us and how we perceive their responses. The spotlight effect causes us to overstate the attention we receive from others. People naturally divide things into us, the in-group, and them, the out-group, based on similarities and differences, even among similar people. This is divisions, psychology. In-group bias makes people favor their own group, regardless of its composition. We're stronger together against a common foe. To overcome disagreements among like individuals, acknowledge little differences, highlight similarities, form a bigger us, communicate across groups, and develop transcendent goals. Dissent can be stifled by conformity pressure, and organizations punish deviations. Persistence can affect a majority, and minority influence studies show that even a small minority can have an impact. disagreement, can break consensus and stimulate deeper analysis. Narcissism, an inflated self-esteem and deep confidence in one's awesomeness, is a sign of strong self-serving bias. Due of their negative reaction to criticism, narcissists often respond when their superiority is questioned. They may initially win over others, but their egotism causes them to lose favor since they value success over relationships. Narcissism is one of the dark triad vices. 3. What on earth? This psychologically based section examines nature and nurture, social issues, and technology's consequences. Important ideas include nature and nurture. Shape us, studies, notably those of identical twins raised independently, have demonstrated that IQ and personality traits are highly heritable and stable throughout life. The paucity of psychological similarities between unrelated lookalikes supports the idea that genes, not environment, shape our appearance. Research on adopted children suggests that the shared environment slightly alters their personalities, making them more like their biological parents. Since attitudes and ideas are more malleable than personality traits, contextual influences like parental and peer choices continue to matter. Harmonized souls. Embodiment studies reveal that our body's perceptions and actions can influence our preferences and decisions, like how a hard chair makes us think of crime. Walking in sync breaks down barriers, builds rapport, and fosters empathy, which improves conflict resolution. While strolling, dancing, or singing together, people are more likely to bond and be in sync. Brief psychologically based wise interventions can improve long-term thriving by helping people reframe their experiences and transform their lives, unlike many large-scale treatments that fail. Teaching a growth mindset or reassuring people that their anxieties about fitting in are normal are examples of interventions that change people's perspectives of their abilities, relationships, and social surroundings during important transitions. Triumph over adversity. Sometimes you must overcome hidden difficulties to succeed. Create a CV of failures and share it to help others through terrible times. Success requires resilience in the face of setbacks and criticism. More subtle but obvious is the emotional impact of positive comments than negative ones. Contrary to popular assumption, dying people say things about love, purpose, and faith, not despair. This is especially true for terminally ill patients. Blog posts or convicts' final words. Resilience and lifelong well-being suggest that humans can handle unpleasant conditions even in old age. Does immigrant acceptance or fear vary by location? Both the U.S. and Germany show that places with a higher immigrant population are more welcoming to newcomers, whereas regions with a lower population are more unfriendly. This supports the contact theory, which claims that cooperative group contacts diminish bias. There's unconscious bias. Do training programs reduce it? Psychological research shows that implicit bias, preconceived assumptions that influence our thoughts and actions, is genuine. Implicit bias training may be unhelpful, but studies suggest it can change. To counteract bias, one must acknowledge one's biases. Learn to monitor and correct one's behavior. Promote inclusive multiculturalism and set clear behavioral norms. Attitudes frequently follow deeds. Because words become thoughts and attitudes become actions, self-interest can affect public political shifts, leading officials to cater to public opinion or avoid pressure. Experiments show that people adapt their statements to please others and then believe it. As the foot-in-the-door effect indicates, consenting to little requests can build trust in related activities and lead to bigger ones. Following this carefully can shift beliefs significantly. We tend to seek information that confirms our beliefs rather than criticizing them. Confirmation bias affects belief credibility. Supplementing this is belief perseverance, in which people's opinions stay unshaken when early evidence is undercut. People have their own self-explanatory notions, Although these events indicate how hard it is to change one's thoughts, evidence-based critical thinking and deliberately searching out data that contradicts them can help one strengthen their true convictions or reasoned conviction in the face of ambiguity. Phubbing, also known as phone snubbing, is neglecting a conversation partner to use one's phone. Lowering self-esteem and belonging can impair relationship satisfaction and cause emotional distress. Having a phone handy reduces intimacy. Phubbing can be reduced by putting phones away or discussing it. Wealth supports giving, but there appears to be an income satiation point, beyond which it no longer affects happiness. The tendency to adapt and compare contributes. Extreme wealth inequality harms health and society. Wealth seekers are less pleased than those who value intimate connections and community involvement. People prefer the known and shun the unexpected, due to prejudices. After repeated exposure to novel stimuli like people, things, language, or music, the mere exposure effect shows that like develops without conscious awareness. This impact, unrelated to conscious cognition, may lead to a preference for famous people, products, or politicians. As getting to know someone makes you like them more, repeating something makes it more true. Does psychological research fail due to replication failure? Science has failed to replicate some well-known psychological results, which helps it self-correct. Some psychological events may be real but context-dependent, yet most reproduce reliably, adding to human behavior. Knowledge, How Do We Know Ourselves? Presents persuasive, fact-based arguments. It illuminates the mind's fascinating quirks and complexity. It emphasizes that subconscious processing affects our beliefs, decisions, and relationships in unanticipated ways. This book explores our name's subtle effects, selective attention's power, self-serving biases' prevalence, and societal polarization's dynamics. Clearer thinking requires understanding cognitive biases, because intuition is powerful and hazardous. Myers explores the true nature of humility, the unexpected optimism in facing mortality, the importance of seemingly insignificant relationships, and the lasting impact of nature and nurture to encourage us to accept our innate tendencies and potential for growth and change. The book concludes by inviting readers to use psychological research to see themselves and the world differently and connect with others more deeply. I hope this summary of How Do We Know Ourselves made you curious. Please share your favorite brain regions. Enter your message here. This summary will help psychology enthusiasts and self-discoverers, so please like and share it.